Bada bing, bada boom. Social Inform Media.
This story comes to us from the NewYorkTimes.com. And it's more information about the Memphis death of Tyree D. Nichols. Yeah, we're hearing a lot about that. But on this one, they say that a police report written hours after officers beat Tyree D. Nichols was starkly at odds with what videos have revealed, making no mention of the powerful kicks and punches unleashed on Mr. Nichols, and instead claiming that he was violent. So basically, in their police reports, they said, well, he was violent and nobody gave him punches and kicks. And then this video comes out and it's totally 180 of what they put. Of course it is. Cops lie. That's just bottom line. They're not going to tell the truth when they screw up. That's why you have to record the police. People always wonder, why you record the cops? Why are you recording them? Because of these guys right here in Memphis. The police report did not match at all that video that was up on that light pole. The police report painted Tyree Nichols, who died 3 days after the January 7th beating, as an irate suspect who started to fight with Memphis officers, reaching for their gun. Instead, they captured police officers yanking Tyree Nichols from a car, threatening to hurt him, and then after he ran away, catching up with him and inflicting the deadly beating. In fact, one of the deadliest beatings I think I've ever seen by cops. All the while, it appears from videos, Tyree D. Nichols never struck back. Never struck back. He was just like, oh my God, these cops are going to kill me. And they did. Now, somebody asked a good question, very good question, concerning this incident. And I'm not pro BLM, Black Lives Matter. I know that it's a shady organization. But that's a good question. Where's Black Lives Matter in all this? Where are the protests? I mean, there were some protests, but it wasn't, George Floyd, the whole nation went crazy. Tyree D. Nichols, that's terrible. I'm not saying they should react and do what happened in 2020, but my point is, where's the outrage? I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same feeling of outrage. Like the country isn't really outraged about this. Is it because it's Memphis? I don't know. But meanwhile, the city's fire chief, Gina Sweat, who's sweating, Gina Sweat fired 2 emergency medical technicians and a lieutenant who responded to the scene, saying they had violated a range of policies. The fire chief said the EMTs had been responding to a report of a person who had been pepper sprayed, and they relied on information given to them on the scene, presumably by some of the police officers, well, no kidding, who had just kicked and punched and used a baton to pummel this guy. So, I mean, the bottom line is a lieutenant and the 2 fire EMTs got fired. 6 Memphis police officers have been fired. The 5 were charged. I mean, there's so much fallout over this. The real question is, what's the end result going to be? But it goes down. I'll put a link to it in the description box so you can read the whole thing in your entirety. It's kind of long. But the big thing here is, police report doesn't match what the video said. Going on to another story I'm going to do real quick right here is from CBSNews.com, where activists are outraged over the shooting death of a 36-year-old double amputee who demanded justice and accountability. The activists did. The Coalition for Community Control over the police and the family of Anthony Lowe Jr. held a news conference to bring awareness to Lowe's death. Anthony Lowe Jr., double amputee, was shot by police officers in Huntington Park. And I'll put a link to this one in the description box as well so you can read it. But the bottom line is, video taken by a passerby shows Lowe out of his wheelchair trying to get away from police, using his arms to propel himself along the ground. Officers said he had a knife and he was trying to throw it at the officers, so they shot him. If you watch the video, they couldn't tase him. Couldn't use a taser. Couldn't use a pepper spray. Well, he's got a knife. That's worth killing him for. As he's running away from them with swinging the knife. Gorham, somebody named Gorham here, says, you guys knew your lives wasn't in danger. He's running on his limbs. How cold-hearted could they be? Yeah, he was running on WMPT, running on limbs. Now, some people may go, you know what, dude? Look, that was in Los Angeles, Huntington Park, that was a double MV or whatever. Like, it doesn't affect you. But people frequently comment with a great statement on my videos. They say, back the blue until it happens to you. Back the blue until it happens to you. So I'm watching this show on Hulu, and it's about Kern County and how the police there are killing people, and then their statements and their reports don't match up with what actual facts are. And somebody in that made a statement. They said, you know, we hear about these killings and we go, man, that poor family. Just we feel bad for the family. And then it was her, I think it was her brother that had got killed by police. But she says, and then it happens to you. You are that family. She said, and your whole life changes. And that's my point. When I'm doing these stories, don't go, you know what? That's Huntington Park. I live out here in Illinois, you know, whatever. Yeah, it's a distant story until you are that family. And then all of a sudden, realism hits in. Reality slaps you in the face. So my point is, when I'm doing these stories, just know that if these cops are going to do it to this guy, you're not safe either. I don't know where I'm going with that, but I digress. They said it is unclear if there's any body cam or dash cam video of the shooting, but a nearby business has given authorities security footage of the shooting. And that was, of course, already released on YouTube. The video's out there. It's not real telling, but it does show him running away from them with a butcher knife, and he gets shot. Wasn't running towards them. I don't know. Just saying that Tyree D. Nichols, Keenan Anderson, Anthony Lowe. What's changed since 2020? Cops are still killing people.